Sino ka, ma'am? Please,
Good afternoon. I'm Attorney Elena Lipitan of Cebu for Human Rights. Cebu for Human Rights. We are a non-government organization based in Cebu.
Cebu
for Human
Rights.
Yes.
You are an NGO.
We are an NGO.
Yeah, go ahead.
And how come we are here? Because we are a friend of Richard Dano, and a member, Attorney Fiona Bojos, is a classmate of Richard, and we were able to go to Socorro and found out the situation. In our limited way, we did help them. So, nakikita namin, first, we would like to confirm that indeed there are forced marriages. We have interviewed them, and in fact, we have interviewed also Mark. And the reality is that helping fight a cult is challenging, not because of yung mga forced marriages, pwede pa yun, pero private army, parang, teka lang, that's a little bit dangerous.
Hindi ko sa akin yung forced marriages. Hindi ko matawag yun.
Sa human rights lawyers, tinitingnan din namin yung safety namin. Well, anyway, nung narinig namin kay Mark na kahit yung taga-DNR ay nilalagyan nila ng mga trap, teka lang, delikado yon. So, I can understand the challenge of the DNR going there because they have their own private army and that the training is really extensive. Young combatants, children, training them to be skilled, Anyway, nakikita rin namin sa tulong namin, ng tinutulungan namin, that basically the local government of Socorro, they have the right heart, but unfortunately may lack the skills on how to handle it. And one of that is in their sincere effort to protect the residents, gumawa nga sila ng ordinance, which later on was declared void. May mga kakulangan, the documentation, that sort. At saka nung nagpunta kami sa kanila, palagi silang talo sa case. Yon, lumalapit sila sa amin, Attorney, talo na naman kami sa writ of habeas corpus. So the first child, yon, talagang malaking blow sa kanila, di ba? Because they were trying to protect that child, and then later on, the court gave that child back to the parent because under the law, the primary custody should be with the child. Pero kung titingnan namin, a petition for involuntary commitment was filed earlier, but it was not ruled upon. So, sa tingin ko, may kakulangan siguro sa batas. You cannot answer a cult movement with hodgepodge laws, So, ngayon, going back, ang mga issues na kikita namin, why would they go there on the first place? The 3,500 to 5,000. What are the pushing factors why people would go there and stay there? Ignorance, yes. Miseducation, yes. Merong element of desperation, poverty. May nagtatago nandun kasi may mga warrant of arrest. May nandun kasi napuno sa utang.
Sorry. Mga teachers yung iba. Mga
That's why
licensed
yes.
Licensed teachers. Ito mga police ito na puro ito mga napolcom at civil service eligibles. So, yun lang, nagbatin lang ako. Please continue.
Totoo yun. At saka tinatanong yun sa media sa amin, what pushes them? Bakit nandun sila? At saka bakit nananatili silang nandun? So, nung tinignan namin, anecdotal, kasi hindi naman thorough yung statistics namin, may mga iba talaga doon na walang mapuntahan, Na napuno na sa utang. May mga ilang teachers na punong-puno na sa utang. And then, based yung culture nila of strong helping each other, yung bayanihan, kung nandun ka, anyway, each member is helping another member. Pero why they would stay there, even though with this reality, ang isang factor doon is wala na silang babalikan kasi binenta na nila. Second, paninindigan na lang nila kasi nandito na kami eh. We will stand by it. So that's why we recommended reintegration, rehabilitation, alternative livelihood so that these people could be reintegrated back to the community. Pero ang sa amin talaga na nakita namin na maganda, because palaging talo sa case eh. May vowsy kami, talo. May adultery, talo. Ganyan. So, I think the Senate legislators would have to craft a law or a policy that would answer cult, because this is rampant in Mindanao and other parts of the country. Kasi kung titingnan mo, hodgepodge lang yung batas natin eh. So, one act may not be connected. Sa simulang-simula, nung nag-opening remarks si Senator, sabi mo, it's well-defined, it falls under a cult. And yet, yun yung common term for cult. But it has never been defined under Philippine laws kung ano yung cult natin. And wala pa, kasi wala nga tayong batas noon, so difficult to define. Common knowledge lang natin na yun yung definition sa code. Now, the Cebu for Human Rights, we will be submitting a position paper, but our recommendation is really to come up with a more comprehensive law on this matter to answer, kasi hindi kaya. At saka nakikita namin, this Senate investigation really put into light the problem. Kasi nung nandun sa Socorro, yun, tinutulungan ng NBI, correct, talagang tinutulungan. Yung CHR doon, yung region nyo, yun, meron, ito, meron, pero hindi buo. At saka yung sa DepEd, yun, tumutulong. But with this platform and with this venue, you're really able to bring the problem about cult and cultism all over the Philippines. Kaya nga siguro patok na patok kasi maraming nagkaka-interest dito. Thank you very much.
Maganda lang po, Mr. Chair, and may I please also share my differing opinion with the attorney. Actually, may laban pa po yung mga bata dahil dinidinig po, iniimbestiga ng Senado. Yung mga gustong i-champion yung rights of the children, yung best interest of the child, bagamat sa mga prior processes, maaring hindi nabigyang daan yung kanilang hinihiling, pero dahil mga sa naunang ginawa ng NBI, naunang ginawa ng DOJ IACAT, naunang ginawa ng PNP, naunang ginawa ni na Mayor at ng MSWDO, nakarating sa amin dito sa Senado. And ibig sabihin, hindi na-uphold. And in fact, I would state it more strongly, nalalabag ang best interest of the child, nalalabag ang karapatan ng bata sa kasalukuyang sitwasyong kinasasadlakan nila sa kapihan, sa kamay ng SPSI. And one of the, dagang salamat kay Attorney Lepiten, we conduct these investigations in aid of legislation also. So kung meron po kayong ipapanukala na mas sumasaklaw na batas, we would be very interested to study that.